Okay, so we got a couple quick examples from 6-4. The first is this, what turns out to be a trapezoid, where you've got ABCD is a rhombus, BC is congruent to FC, and so this angle is congruent to that angle. And you want to find the angles DAG, so we want this angle, and CDG, which is going to be this angle. Well, we need to remember a couple things. First off, this is an isosceles triangle, which means we know that when we do 180 minus 46, we get 134. 134 divided by 2 is 67. And then we need to remember things about the rhombus. And we had two theorems that are really important here about the rhombus. The first is this angle and the diagonals are perpendicular, so we know we've got right triangles. And then the second is that the diagonal of a rhombus bisects the angles. So that means those two angles have to be the same. So we can say 2x plus 67 equals 180, which means 2x equals 113, or x equals 56.5. So we know this angle is 56.5, and this angle is 56.5. But it's a parallelogram, which means that these angles are the same as the ones down here. So they're also 56.5. And so the measure of CDG is 56.5. And then finding the other angle, DAG, is actually just super simple. These three angles have to add up to 180. Subtract 90, you got 90. 90 minus 56.5 is going to be 33.5. And that's how you find DAG and CDG. All right, and the second one, you're given that this is a rectangle, which the things we need to remember of a rectangle are that the diagonals are congruent to each other. So AC is a diagonal, so we know that 3x plus 5y is going to equal BD, which is 27. And that's because those are the values of the two diagonals. So it worked out nicely that we could write an equation. And then we know that angle ADB is 64, which means that ABD must be 26, because in a rectangle, when you draw on a diagonal, you always get right triangles, right? Because if you draw the diagonal in, then the angle in there has to be a right angle. So you need to keep that in mind. So 180 minus 90 minus 64 is 26. And so then you're given that ABD, 5x plus 2y equals 26. We've got a system of equations to solve. We'll multiply the top one by 2 and the bottom one by -5. So that gives me what? 6x plus 10y equals 54. Negative 25x minus 10y equals negative 130. So that's when I combine these together, the y's cancel out. That's why I multiplied by 2 and -5. And that's going to give me negative 19x equals negative 76, which is going to give me, when you divide both sides by negative 19, x equals 4. And then you just go up here to find y. So that's going to give you 5 times 4 plus 2y equals 26. So 2y equals 6, so y equals 3. So for this problem, the value of x is 4, and the value of y is 3.